Hi, hello. I'm here to hang out for a little bit. I don't know how long I will be on. I'm really tired. It's almost bedtime, but I want to come on and just hang out for a little bit. Obviously, you can ask me anything. If you're new here, I'm Lindsay. I'm a certified trauma recovery coach, and I'm also a survivor of abuse in a queer relationship. It is Pride Month. So, before I started talking about abuse, I was always talking about gay stuff. I was validating the late bloomers. I was talking about my experience coming out late. And I do talk about, I do try to make it clear that I was in a queer relationship, that the abuse happened in a queer relationship. But a lot of my content is very general because I don't want to exclude anybody. So if there's anything queer specific that you guys want to talk about, that's always an option too. Hi, Olivia. Welcome in. Always an option, but just wanted to highlight that because it is Pride Month and we're out here. We're gay. We're doing it. But yeah, I'll be here for a little bit. So yeah, I don't really have anything on the docket. Usually I try to come in and just start talking about stuff. But I need a oh yes, blankie. Because for TikTok, because I am sitting on a tiny little chair and I just realized that when I sit back, I'm just sitting here because it's really uncomfortable. And then I'm wearing shorts, like really short shorts. So y'all are gonna get the blankie there. It's the only way I can make it so my back doesn't hurt. I just finished an interpreting job, which is my real job, and I have to sit like this, and the screen is like up here, and I'm trying not to squirm around because my back hurts. So now I'm gonna sit like this. Now I'm gonna get comfortable. Let's see. So if you don't know, on the podcast, I'm now doing Monday minis. I'm trying to do them as often. I'm trying to do Monday minis every week now, but I am traveling and I didn't have them pre-recorded like I did with the regular Wednesday episodes. But this week's Monday mini was about CPTSD flashbacks. They're like 8 minutes. The Monday minis are like 10 minutes or less. They're like your quick, don't have time to sit down or don't have a long drive, don't want to listen to a long podcast. And I just talked a little bit about what it's like having flashbacks and when they can happen and how they can happen and how often and for how long they can last and things like that. So if that's something that interests you, go check that out. Let's see what else. This week, I don't even know what I have coming up on the actual, for the actual podcast episode this week, because what happened is last week, I don't know what happened when I was uploading everything. Somehow not on YouTube, but on the actual podcast, like on Spotify, it uploaded 3 episodes at once. And I know some people listen to a couple of them. I unpublished 2 of them because I was like, that is just in your face. So it's gonna be interesting to see what gets published this week, because it just I think it's going to be, is it abuse or attachment? Because I get a lot of people when I talk about abuse, a lot of people ask, isn't this just attachment? Is this just issues with 2 different attachment styles? And I talk a lot in this, I believe it's going to be this Wednesday. I talk a lot about how confusing it can be, because avoidant attachment can look really like a lot of abuse, not gaslighting. Yeah, gaslighting. They can gaslight for sure. But stonewalling and withholding connection and things like that. And of course, anxious. Anyway, but I talk a lot about how can you know the difference between attachment and abuse. So that should be interesting. If that's something that you are confused about, definitely check that out. I don't know why TikTok feels the need to tell me comments have been filtered and not show the comments. What? I don't get it. Hi, Lindsay. Hope you're doing well. I'm finally getting to the point where I don't feel like I'm dying without talking to him. He has officially abandoned us. I don't know how I can take the pain over and over and still have love for him. It's so hard. It's so complicated. And it's so confusing. It's confusing to understand how someone who's literally torturing you and probably your children, whether it's obvious or not, why do you still feel love or think? I'm not trying to say that you don't, but for me, it was very much thinking that I loved that person until I figured out what it really was, which was the trauma bond. when you're trauma bonded with someone, when you're in an abusive relationship, most of the time you are trauma bonded with them and you hate them and you can't stand them and you want to get away from them desperately and you hope they leave you, but when they leave you, you die. You feel like you can't get up. Like I went through withdrawal symptoms when I went no contact. Are we on your computer? Did you have to call me out? Yeah. Did it sound like I was running the vacuum? So yeah, it's really complicated and I'm glad he abandoned you. I know that sounds really crazy and shitty. I'm glad he finally left so that you can start the healing process, even though I tell most people this before you really heal. I don't know. Some people do hit the ground running. They're like so happy to get free. And if the abuser leaves them alone, they are able to maybe not have that initial wave of breaking when it ends. But yeah, it's very, very complicated, isn't it? Hey there. Hey, how are you? Hi, welcome in. Polish trash bread. Hi, welcome in. Hi, Kim. I'm good. How are you? Very tired. So I don't know how long I'll be on tonight. Eek. The narcissist isn't bothered. I'm done with him. He's dropped his child and she's suffering. I'm so sorry. I know it's really hard. And I don't know how old she is. I know it's really hard for children to understand. And as the non-abusive parent, it's very hard to explain because you're not going to be like, your parent's a piece of crap. They abandon us. They whatever. Like, I never have, and I never will tell my son the things that, well, when he's older, if he asks or when the time comes, but he's 5. And when we left, he was 3. And so I've never been like, well, they were physically abusive. Well, they did this to mommy. Well, they did this to you, whatever. It's not age appropriate, right? So they don't understand. And you can't be like, they're horrible and they didn't treat us well. And you also can't, like, in my case, my son doesn't see that person. So I can say, well, this person wasn't treating mommy very well. And it's important for us to put ourselves around people who treat us well, who we feel safe around, blah, blah, blah. And it was still really hard for him, but he was able to say things like, it was so cute. He would be like, their parents should have taught them how to be nice to people and things like that. But I didn't say like how severe it was because he's gonna start thinking about it. He's in the other room, so kind of hopefully you can hear me. So it's really hard because if she's still seeing him, oh, you said she's not. So that never mind. Drop what I was gonna say. How long does it take to heal? It takes a lot of time. Manjeet Ruprai, who I love, who helped me when I was leaving, says 18 to 24 months to heal from narcissistic abuse minimum. And I would say for me that's pretty accurate. Also keeping that in mind that it's going to be longer than that. It's just that the extreme, like, we really need this time to heal and focus on ourselves and work on our own trauma and things like that is like, that's a good start, right? It's a long time. 18 to 24 months in the grand scheme of things isn't very long. It's a lifetime of recovery from childhood trauma and from abuse, but it does get easier. It does get easier. The important thing is that you have a place where you can have a calm nervous system, that you have no contact with this person, that they're not able to keep abusing you, that you don't end up in another abusive relationship, that you don't have friends or family members around who are like giving information about them or who are triggering you. You've got to cut out all those people who are keeping you in that cycle. I just noticed Facebook has auto caption. That's so cool. That is so cool. And that makes me so happy because I'm a sign language interpreter and I like equal access. I don't like to post things that don't have captions, but obviously I don't know if people can put captions on all this stuff. I know that when when I save it on YouTube and Facebook, then I think it has captions on the playback. But that is really cool and good to know. So I can always tell people if I'm going live to hop on Facebook because that's the place to do it. Thanks for telling me. Thank you for sharing your story and strength. It's been a huge help to me. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And it keeps me going. I say that pretty much every time that someone says that, but it's true. Exhausted. I met up with my neighbor who saved my life over the weekend, not seen her in a year. I know, it's really interesting to see people that you have that sort of yucky but important connection with. And it can be really hard to sort of dip back and talk about what happened, or I don't know if you guys talked about it, or even just that knowing it can be really exhausting. Even if it's just like a nice coffee and you don't talk about anything, the underlying feelings and thoughts and triggers and remembering stuff can be really exhausting. I didn't see it for the first 2 years. I see it now. My skin would crawl when he touched me, but at the same time, I'm mourning the fact that we are not a family, which is really hard, even if you don't have an abusive relationship, because we all have this idea that our family has to look a certain way. We were all taught that, of course, as being a man, a woman, and a child, or 2 kids, or 2.5, or whatever, which obviously isn't true, but we still think that, and we bring a child into the world, and we want them to have 2 good parents, and it's devastating. Again, even if the other person isn't abusive, you're like, the other person's not present, or the other person's, lives far away. We don't see them very often, blah, blah, blah. It's very hard. But then on top of that, you're recovering from abuse. He might also go to prison soon. I don't know what to tell him when she starts asking. He beat everyone around him all the time, so we can't see him. It sucks. How old is she? I actually asked people for advice. I came on my Instagram stories and I was like, if anyone here is like a child therapist or a child like a play, like something, what can I say to my 3-year-old? And I had 2 people give me very similar answers, and they gave me really good options on what to explain to him. Of course, he was very upset for the first, like the day that I told him he was very upset. 2, almost 3, nothing. That's so small. And I'm not saying that she's not smart enough to understand, but like, so simple. Just, yeah, we're not going to see him for a little while. He's just not going to be around for a little while. You don't have to give any more information. She's just little. If she asks questions, like when they start to get bigger, you can give a little bit more. I'm not a child expert, but like almost 3, honestly, I'm not saying that she's going to forget about him, but they have so much, like, they focus so much on what's around them. Like my kid is freaking 5.5, and when we travel, hi, you can come in. Just don't come on the screen. Now I can finish what I was going to say. He doesn't ask about anyone who's not really here. Very rarely, if that helps. Did you get it all set up?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah. No.
It worked. Okay. Do you need anything else? Hi, Kelsey. Welcome in.
Now that I finished that amount of baby.
Buddy, I told you we need to save some, okay?
Yeah. I know.
And we're not going to do any more until we can figure out the farm one. Because, like I said, we just got it and it's just going to be sitting in the box. Okay?
Okay. But I want toys and creatures.
They're in the bag out there.
It.
Oh, go get them out of the bag. They're in the bag. They're in that white bag. That's good to hear. I was hoping I may have gotten away soon enough that she might not remember him at all. That might be the case. Honestly, so little. That might be the case, and you would both be very lucky if that does happen, right? Because obviously, even though it's hard, and you're like, "Ooh, she doesn't have a dad," and when she gets older, you're gonna have to explain it. Each like age appropriate, and I'm sure you can look up on the internet like what to tell a 5-year-old when their dad's a piece of shit or whatever, and see if there are some examples that feel right for you as the parent. Because obviously, I've seen people who like not age appropriate and they're telling their kids all this stuff that's way too big for their kids to understand, and they're not having actual conversations, and then the kids feel like they're to blame and it's something wrong with them. Like a lot of us grew up with that kind of thing. Like, oh, my dad left when I was 3, so it's because I was useless. Well, no, it's because he was useless, like, or something. And so, yeah, just when she gets big, like if she goes to kindergarten or something, she's like, why don't I have a dad? Because other people don't. Then you get a book about families and you're like, look, some people have 2 dads, some people have 2 moms. I'm queer, so maybe you're not into that. Sorry for you if you're not an ally.
What color is the bag?
The white bag that I put all the army men in, it's just in there. And there's army men and there's sea creatures. A white bag.
I like that.
Yep, with handles on top. I know I look really frustrated right now, and that is because my son, who again is 5.5, is as bad as his grown-up dad when it comes to finding stuff. Like, can you hand me my phone that's on the counter next to the fridge underneath the only plant that's there? It's literally right there, front and center. I don't see it. I can't see it. My son will walk on. Where are my clothes? Right here, right in front of you. I don't see him.
I
Do not tell me you didn't find it. You did. Okay, catch him in the net.
I wanted you to do it.
Hmm.
I want you to swim.
Just so you know. We got a net today because we saw jellyfish at the beach, a small one. And we kind of wanted to net it without taking it out of the water and without harming it, but we wanted to see like what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Also, he's been wanting to catch fish and crabs. So the other day we were at the beach
No,
and there were
this
some
is
kids catching crabs.
This one. Just keep it over.
Nice. My 9-year-old does the same darn thing. I don't understand it. Like, I don't know. And like, I lose things all the time. I have ADHD. It's really bad. It's not controlled. I don't take medication. I'll put this down right here. Sorry, I'll put it over here and I won't be able to find it. Whatever. And so I don't want to play this game because I don't like the net in my face. Remember how I've told you that I don't like stuff anywhere, nothing comes near my face. That's a never, ever. So can you move that over here? I'll play with you, but the net has to stay away from my, like, 4-foot radius. One of my biggest, like, no-nos now after everything is my face. Oh, see, don't get anything near my face. Yeah, it's so frustrating. My half-brother does it too, drives me up the wall. But, like, I will pace. I will walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. I'll take 10 laps around the house until I find something. I'm not going to be like, I can't see it.
Okay, I'm gonna get you again. Oh.
Yeah, I grew up without my
Mm.
DAD for the most part, but he was alcoholic, so I saw very young what he was doing. I just did that because I didn't want to talk him to, yeah. Nope. Okay. All right, this is the last one because I don't like this game because the net is close to my face. Personal space bubble. I'm the same way. He can get in my bubble, but not with a net that's near my face. Like, it's weird. He'll like want to play games and stuff, and I'm like, see, that's too close. Too close. Back up. There you go. Also, why do kids have so many rules, but they don't tell you the rules? So no matter what you do, you're doing it wrong. They don't tell you the rules. Then they'll tell you the rules, and you'll do it, and you're still doing it wrong. Right? Okay, now you're getting the turtle.
I'll try to get it. After that, try to get it out. Okay? I'll try to do that.
All right. Okay. I'm all done playing with the net. Okay. I was not expecting this. Hey, Adler. All right. I'm probably going to have to go here. It's been 20 minutes. If you're all done playing with your Playmobil, we're going to go to bed, okay?
I am not done. Because I want to show you.
Okay, I'll come out in a couple minutes. But take this out there.
Okay.
Okay? So I can have a little bit of space. Because we're together 24/7. So mommy needs some adult time. Actually, I put you back on the computer, didn't I? So let's talk about Hello from Michigan. I want to tell a story. Something that just happened. And it may or may not be connected to somebody I know. I tweeted about this. I don't think I shared this anywhere else. A little bit before I left for my trip, someone stole my new credit card from my mailbox. I'm not saying it was my abuser. I'm not saying they knew I had a credit card coming and they went and got it. But it crossed my mind that it was my abuser. Like, they know that I use credit cards. Maybe they check my mailbox once in a while. I don't know. It wasn't them. It wasn't them. But it crosses your mind, right? When you come out of an abusive situation and you have experienced post-separation abuse, something happens to you, your car, your house, something comes up missing, You're starting to get weird phone calls, whatever. Your first thought is, this is somebody I know. This is them. Again, it wasn't them. Fast forward to now. My son's dad texts me and says my car was broken into. What's your question?
What broke somehow?
What broke?
Like the wall or something.
What?
The wall or something. I think the wall broke.
I'll be right back. Adler, did you hit the wall with the net?
No, it was kind of fragile. See?
Oh, set that back up. That was already broken. So you can just tilt it back up how it was. Good job. Poor guy. He thought he broke this little piece of trim that they had like set up. It's like a little piece of trim like this big. And I had already seen that it wasn't attached. There's like some, don't touch the wires, Ad. Okay, thank you. The wires are fine, but just gotta make sure. And he bumped it and it fell. And he's like, I think I broke the wall. So I pictured he like hit the wall with the net. So anyway, my car gets searched. And I was like, well, how did you know it got searched? What's going on? And he wouldn't tell me anything. He was like, And then we called my son. They're talking. I'm like, you can tell me, like, how did you know? Is everything okay? And Kim, I see your question and I will get right back to you as long as I don't get like hugely interrupted before I get to it. And by that, I mean, my son is done. I'm ready for bed. And so then he's like telling me, he's like, well, the glove box was open and my dog's remains were in the glove box. Can I help you?
I want to play it.
You want to play with me?
Yeah.
All right, let me finish this story, bud. Let me finish this story and then I'll come out. Okay? And so, sorry about this. I am actually, this is the first time that I've ever been like, because I need a long time. But you can't plan for that when you have kids. So anyway, he's like, well, the glove box was left open and I had the little tin of my dog's remains in the center console. And they were in there because when I left, those were left at the house. Everything I left at the house, I was okay to lose. It's unfortunate. There was stuff for my dad there. There was the remains, all kinds of stuff. And there were things I didn't want to lose, but to keep myself and that situation, like sometimes you just have to lose things. And they didn't say anything, but they were telling me to come home, That's cute. Adler, did you set them all up?
What?
All right, but we're going to have to go to bed.
Oh, just tell me what's it.
Did you set up the Phoenicians? Are they all set up?
I did.
Okay. Go back out. I'm going to finish this up. I need to finish this story and answer a question, and then I'll come back out, okay? Right now I'm telling a story that's not for you. Okay? It's not about whales or dinosaurs or chickens or strawberry moon. Oh, go check and see if the strawberry moon is out. I'm going to wrap this up because I can't keep doing this.
I did not see the moon.
Can you go check again, please?
I did not see the
All right.
moon.
I gotta go. I'm not gonna finish this story. And Kim, I will answer your question really quick, but I can't do this. Is it normal to have memory blocks after leaving abuse? There's parts of the worst days I forgot. Absolutely, yes. Because what happens is that your brain, same with childhood. I don't remember my childhood. Ask me something. I will tell you I don't know. People talk about their childhoods and I'm like, I wish I knew. I have little bits and pieces of memories, but years of my life, even into my 20s, I don't remember because I was dissociating to survive, which is really unfortunate and is the case for a lot of people. So what happens when we're being abused? Like there are things that I can remember so vividly. I can tell you what we were wearing, where it was, what time of day it happened, what they said, word for word. Like there's things that are so vivid, but there are vast blanks. And that's also part of the problem when it comes to testifying against abusive people, when it comes to creating police reports, things like that, is they'll ask you something and they'll cross-examine and they'll do this and they'll do that. And you don't know. You don't freaking know because our brains will literally shut off whatever parts we need to be able to survive. We're dissociated. Things are happening and you forget it. Even if it's not an obvious dissociation, you're blacking things out to protect yourself. It's what our brains do. It's an incredible skill. It's also unfortunate in a lot of ways. It's for our survival. Okay, I'm done. My child is back. This is not, I can't do this. That's actually really cool. What goes in these little holes? Sorry, I didn't get to finish the story.
Nothing.
Doesn't really matter.
Nothing.
Don't know who did it. Don't know who broke my
Nothing.
car.
Nothing goes in there. Except, well, those holes are for these to go in.
Bye, get some rest. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just gonna get this makeup off and go right to sleep because obviously you can tell I'm over everything. So thanks for answering the question. I appreciate you so much. You're welcome. Thanks for asking. I will be back another time. And next time I come back, I'll make sure my child is entertained so that I can actually have a little bit of time to myself. And I know if you're like, oh my gosh, that's so mean. No, we're literally together 24/7 because we're traveling together if you didn't know that. So no breaks. Sleep together, wake up together, go to the beach together, do all the things together. When I'm working, he's right there. So, yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Get some rest. Go drink some water. Thanks again. And I'll see you all later. How do I get out of here?